Hello and welcome back to Echo. Last we saw, the gang was speaking to Jeremy and his crew about where Carl might be. Jeremy let slip that Carl was asking for meth, and apparently that might not be true because later on that night, Micah found Chase and told him that perhaps somebody might have kidnapped Carl, because he's rich, and that somebody might be Brian the bear. Now then, let's continue the story. My eyes flutter open and I'm greeted by sunlight pouring through the thin curtains. At first, I'm a little confused until I realize I'm not in the same bed I'd been in for the rest of the trip. It takes me a minute to get control of my limbs again, and when I turn my head to the side, I see Jenna sound asleep beside me. I had meant to talk to her about some stuff on my mind last night, but she fell asleep pretty quickly. She looks pretty peaceful, all things considered. It's such a contrast to the dream from the night before, the details of which are already beginning to fade, but some imagery remains. The van, the albino getting hit, the tarantulas in the back, the tall figure that was watching on the hill. Ugh, it hurts to think about. I reach out a paw and gingerly nudge Jenna's shoulder. Hey, you awake? Jenna's whiskers twitch. She must not be as asleep as I thought, because she makes a little grunt as I nudge her again. Her eyes open a crack and she smiles as she sees me looking back at her. Hey. Hey. I boop her on the nose with my paw once, and I can hear her tail whip beneath the covers happily. Looking graceful today. Truly? She blinks once. Wait, why are you in my bed? She questions back with a raised brow, stretching her arms beyond her and yawning. I was trying to talk to you more about the Micah thing, and you just sort of closed your eyes and fell asleep. I did the same. Huh, well, we all got that gist of it. I'm sorry, I've just been really tired lately. I'm going to be so behind on my work for college, it's not even funny. I hate cramming. She squints at me for a moment. You have sleep crusties in your eyes. I blink. Oh, well, I just woke up. That's probably why. I rub my eyes quickly. She lets out a little laugh. You sleep okay? I know you're missing Carl and all, especially after what you told me the other night. I still can't get over the fact that you have a crush on him. I always just sort of figured he was someone you only ever considered a friend. I cover my face with my paws, regretting telling her all this personal crush stuff already. Hey, you gave me like 3 options and I chose the least worst one. Which, in my mind, is Carl. But that's not something I really want to talk about right now. Understood. But in all seriousness, did you sleep okay? Her expression reads as genuine concern for some reason. I debate just saying yeah and leaving it at that, but last night's dream felt so particularly bizarre, it'd feel wrong not to mention. Ugh. I shrug. More weird dreams. Had one where I was simultaneously getting hit by and ran over someone with the van. Like the perspective switched back and forth. Oh, that's weird. At least, it's not the reoccurring shadow you dream. Oh yeah, definitely. Seeing myself in the mirror is tough enough. I don't need to see that when I sleep. Chase, please. You're not that ugly. I frown. You have a wonderful way of making your reassurances simultaneously slight put-downs. Do I? Yes. I'm being negged. Oh, shut up. I hate when guys do that. I'm just teasing you, Chase. Trying to rate someone's physical appearance has always been hard for me. Especially when they're covered in eye gunk. Ugh, oh come on. I'm gonna wipe it on you. Her face crinkles into a look of repulsion. Oh, gross. She adjusts her pillow some and rolls onto her back, staring at the ceiling. You know, I kept dreaming about my grandmother. Really? Yes, it's strange. Especially one from last night. She pauses. I look, waiting for her expectantly. I was younger and in my bedroom back at my parents' place. Well, it didn't look like my bedroom and everything was kinda hazy, but I could hear the old hot water heater in the corner. I was being read a story from one of those children's books with the golden spines. You know the ones, right? I nod. Oh yeah, wow. I hadn't thought about those in ages. My parents used to read them to me all the time when I was little. Couldn't fall asleep without them. Oh, I can't recall ever being read to a story outside of school, so that's why it was a bit unusual. Who was reading you the story, then? Hold on, I'll get to that in a second. The story was a fairly basic medieval fairy tale, with the king having been eaten by a dragon and a brave warrior venturing out to slay the beast. Despite it being a story I was being told, it was kind of like I was watching it happen for real, like on TV. The warrior travels a great distance to confront the dragon, but when they finally find him, they falter. Inside the dragon's lair, the warrior finds a baby dragon whom the big one was trying to protect. The king had wanted the dragons dead, stating that they were all monsters, uncaring devils. But at seeing the big dragon protect its young, the warrior knows that this is not the whole truth, and spares the dragon. Noble guy. It wasn't a guy. In fact, I believe it was my grandmother. The one you told me about? Yes. How do you know that? Jenna's brow furrows slightly as she thinks. I'm not sure exactly. At the time, it felt implicit, obvious. Like, who else could it be? So, warrior grandma doesn't kill the dragon, and then what happens? Her gaze shifts, as if searching for something fleeting. I don't think anything happened. It just sort of was a hard cut back to my bedroom. I could see the sun just starting to rise through the window, the sky still orangey and red. You know, like how it gets during a drought when there's a lot of dust in the air? Despite all this, the room looked even darker. I couldn't see who was reading the story to me, just that they had big red eyes. And then I woke up. That last part sounds familiar for some reason, but I'm having a difficult time remembering why. Wow? Jenna looks slightly embarrassed with herself, fussing with her head fur as she sits up some. Discussing dreams can be a great way to help discern internal stressors in one's life. Her tone is slightly defensive, the Fennec using words way too fancy for this early in the morning. The problem is, dreams are often deeply personal abstractions that... She frowns to herself some, then glances at the clock at the nightstand. It's probably going to be our turn on search duty here in a bit. That information we got from Micah is really helpful, if true. Here's hoping he pulls through with his investigating. Yeah, to be honest, I was kind of a lot happier thinking Carl just went on a bender and got lost somewhere. He still might have, judging by how you said Micah describing him acting. At least, now we know the general direction to look. Right. I look at the neatly made bed on TJ's side of the room. He had initially given us a bit of a strange look when I stayed on Jenna's bed for the night. I can't tell if it's because he was curious about our relationship or offended that I wasn't sleeping with him. I clarified that he didn't snore, just in case. Jenna's phone vibrates beside us, and she lets out a little sigh, clearly comfortable and not wanting to move. If I had longer arms, I'd grab it for you. Oh, such a gentleman. A shame you're gay. Wait, what? Jenna winks at me once, grabbing the phone with a little irk. She taps away at the screen for a moment before looking over at me. Gonna meet up with TJ down at the diner for breakfast. Some eggs and bacon sounds amazing to me right now. I'm not usually the sort of person to get hungry as soon as I wake up, but that does sound pretty good. Yeah, with some jam and toast too. Now you're talking. I know you took one last night, but I should probably take a shower first. Gotta, get all the eye goop off of me that's so offensive to you. Oh. She cants her head in my direction, setting her phone back down. Thank you for being so considerate to those around you, Chase. We appreciate it, truly. I grunt idly and slide myself off the other side of the bed. I'll meet you down at the diner. Gotta walk down there, this time. The reception's been kinda weird this morning, but I'll text TJ your order. Thank you. I give her a little thumbs up and she smiles, leaning over the edge of the bed to begin rifling through her suitcase. When I step out about 20 minutes later, I notice that my phone is flashing with a new notification light. I click it on and notice one new message. It's Micah. Your BF is fucking shit up. Hitting Clint. Get down here to Jasmine Street now. Oh, shit. God damn it, Leo. I'd sent out a big group text message last night updating the group on what happened with Micah. Everyone got back to me except for Leo, who never responded. It showed that he'd read the message though, so I didn't question it at the time. I quickly grab my keys and head out. It's probably the one person you didn't want to message or, make sure that he didn't do anything rash after. I make sure to park at least a quarter mile down the street past the intersection onto Jasmine. From there, I make my way on foot, huffing my way down the gravel road. As I walk fast, I notice that there's little puddles everywhere, but there was no rain last night. At least, if there was, I was sleeping too deeply to notice. I can still practically smell the smoke of the bonfire from yesterday as I draw closer. I imagine they probably let it burn down to ashes last night, the group not seeming the real fire safety type. Fuck you! A voice cracks through the silence past a burnt-out trailer down the valley. It's shrill and raspy, and a violent clash that sounds like garbage cans getting knocked over soon follows. It's unmistakably Clint. There's another voice that follows, this one lower. It's quiet and threatening, but I can't make out what he's saying. Something about making Clint's life hell? There's an accent to the way that the R's are being rolled, and I realize quickly that it's Leo. His English always gets worse when he's emotional. I creep up beside a shed full of what looks like copper tubing, wondering if it's too late to turn back. Peering around the corner, I can see Clint knocked on his ass and a can of half-eaten beans spilled all over his crotch. He's almost completely covered in trash. Jeremy's the one next to him, holding his arm and looking like he's about to start bawling. No sign of Micah or Heather, though. Where is he, huh? You gonna tell me? Eat shit, faggot. I don't know where your fucking friend is. That's bullshit. Leo snaps back, Clint flinching some as he slides himself further beside the trash can he knocked over earlier. A hypodermic needle is dangling from his thigh, probably poking him through his jeans. He doesn't seem to notice, eyes flicking around wildly as if searching for something. You won't be so loud soon. Leo growls, tail raising and bristling. It's strange to see him flash his teeth like this. Leo getting truly angry was always such a rarity growing up, the wolf usually being the one trying to pacify everyone else. Whatever his reason, he's not having any of Clint's shit today. He snatches the ringtail by the scruff of his neck, Clint thrashing for a second before Leo tightening his grip. Jeremy looks up at the two of them, his eyes are like saucers. I know you all tried to rob Carl's place, but it didn't work, huh? Carl got spooked and ran off, and you said you were gonna handle him. Well, how'd you handle him? Something like how I'm about to handle you if you don't tell me? God damn it, Leo. There goes Micah's cover. So much for trying to do this the subtle way. I feel like I should step out from my hiding spot and say something to intervene, to do fucking anything to stop this before it escalates. But I just stand there, saying and doing nothing. Clint writhes just enough to clutch at Leo's wrist, his long, unkempt fingernails digging into the white fur. I didn't see him, I swear. I ain't seen him at all, not since last week. And we ain't done none of that robbing shit from his place. House is fucking cursed. His bulging eyes shift to Jeremy, as if waiting for confirmation from the chubby Fennec. He's met only with silence. Leo's nostrils flare, shaking his head. You know what happened. Fuck, I know you know. God damn it, don't lie to me. You don't know shit. Sounds like someone's been lying to you, and I think I know who. It's very clearly not what Leo wants to hear, Giles pulling back and exposing more of his teeth in a silent snarl. I need to find him. I need to fix this, and you two sacks of shit are gonna help me. The wolf throws Clint back down on top of Jeremy, the two colliding with an audible thunk. Jeremy yelps, clutching his arm again. Leo must have really heard it earlier. Psst. There's a sharp whisper from a broken down RV to my left. Through the dusty broken windows I can see the familiar outline of a pair of ridiculously large ears. Micah. I crouch down, clutching my tail in my paw so it doesn't flop around behind me. Quietly, I make my way to the door and step inside, careful not to step on any broken glass on my way inside. The smell inside is awful, and despite the arid climate, it's surprisingly damp and moldy in here. Micah is hunkered down behind an overturned cabinet, glancing briefly at me before returning his gaze to the scene unfolding outside. I'm fucked, he mutters. And so is your friend. All thanks to him of all people. Micah points to the wolf outside, whose focused attention has shifted to Jeremy now. I didn't know he would react like this. I whisper back. Yeah, I thought you were just gonna call the cops on me. Didn't expect this from a goody two-shoes echo gang. Micah frowns deeply and I notice a heavy pipe wrench clenched in his small paws. Whoa, are you gonna try hitting him with that? Micah swallows. He was asking about me by name earlier. Jeremy said he hadn't seen me, then Leo punched him in the arm so hard he hit the dirt. This is, just in case. You better not have fucking hurt him, you fat fuck. Another cry of pain. I think Leo hit him again, but it's hard to tell through the spot at the window. The bat's gaze shifts back over to me. What the fuck are you doing here? Go out there and stop him, you dumb shit. Micah whispers harshly, his raspy voice intense. Oh, right, but what? I sigh, rubbing my palm over my face. We need to find Carl, but this isn't any way to go about doing it. Nothing, I'll do it. Good, you're a schizo, but I never really took you for the sort to be down with torture and shit. Part of me is kinda happy to see Clint get his ass kicked, though. Oh yeah, fucker deserves a deck in the jaw every now and then, but I've counted 3. A flicker of nervous smile crosses the bat's face. Yeah, not cool. Thanks. He says that last bit so quietly I almost miss it. The bat is already back to smushing his nose against the dusty window, trying to get a good look at what's happening. His brow furrows. Wait, where'd he go? His ears perk and his yellow eyes widen. Oh, piss. It takes me a second, but I hear it too. Footsteps. And they're getting closer. Micah scrambles to the back of the RV, opening the half-busted bathroom door and jamming himself inside. Don't let him see me! What? Oh shit. It's just Leo. Calm down. I take a deep breath and make my way to the door of the RV, pushing it open. It proceeds to promptly fall right off its rusted hinges, landing on the dirt below. Leo stands about 5 feet away, his look of anger shifting to surprise. Chase? Fuck, what are you doing here? I'm not sure what to say. Behind Leo, I can see Clint and Jeremy slumped against the side of the mobile home. I decide to turn the question back to him, swallowing back a hard lump that had crawled its way up to my throat. Me? Leo, what the hell are you doing here? We had a plan. Yeah, well, so do I. I'm gonna fix this, and you don't have to worry about a thing. Okay? Leo, we're in this together. We're not kids anymore. Look, I know you've been away a while, yeah? But these guys? He points back to Jeremy and Clint. They just hurt people. Always have. That's all they do. Just a bunch of gay-bashing speed freaks. And now, they've crossed the line. Leo steps up, placing his large paw on my shoulders. I flinch. He notices, then a hurt expression crosses his muzzle as he draws back. I'm gonna fix this, Chase. Trust me. Please. Leo, I don't know, this is kind of fucked. You're just gonna get yourself in more trouble, and I don't want that. Look, it's just like we talked about last night. Everything's gonna be okay. Wait, what? Leo, you and I didn't talk last night. I haven't seen or spoken to you since Wednesday. Leo just stares at me, visibly confused. He looks down at his feet, then back up again. No. I was watching Carl's place and you came over. I told you about this, about the need for action here, and you agreed with me. I blink up at him. After the conversation with Micah, I went straight to bed. I definitely didn't go back all the way to Carl's. Probably just a dream or something. Don't think so. He sucked his tongue for a second before speaking again. Have you seen Micah? Gotta ask him a few questions. No. I lie. Ugh. I'll track him down, canine powers and what have ya. He gesticulates with the loose swirl of his paw before letting it fall limply back to his side. Hopefully Micah took a shower recently. Might do that thing where we ask a few questions one time and make sure that the answers match up. I read about something like that in a spy novel once. And if they don't? Leo looks at me as if he wasn't expecting me to ask that question. Well, let's hope they do, yeah? For their own good. He nods sagely, seemingly trying to ignore the fact that I'm staring at him like he's missing a few bolts. When I don't say anything, he just sighs, turning his head back in the direction of Clint and Jeremy. All right, you should head back to the motel and text the rest of the gang. I'll keep you updated. And if you see that, as Leo rounds the side of one of the nearby sheds, something large, brown, and hairy juts forth and strikes him in the waist. He recoils, staggering to his knee with a gasp. Just as he looks to see what hit him, a second blow strikes him square in the muzzle. I see his whole head rattle, his face contorted in pain as he falls flat on his ass, trying to scoot away from the source of the assault. Oh fuck! Leo! I run up to help him just as a huge bear emerges from around the shed. Leo's a big guy, but this man is nearly a foot taller than even him. Scabs coat his matted fur, and a rank smell of stale beer and musk wafts from him like cheap perfume. There's something horrible about him, and not just his acrid odor or lesion-dotted visage. His eyes are empty. Empty not in a physical way, but there's something about his appearance that I can't quite put into words. A combination of factors that make him look like he just walked straight out of a nightmare. Brian, you're here. Shut up, man. Brian. God, this is fucking Brian? No wonder Mike wanted to try the subtle approach. What the hell? Brian chuckles down at Leo, and the first thing I'm struck by is how high-pitched his voice is. It's like this strange combination of a Valley Girl lisp mixed with a hit of helium. God damn it. What you doing, boy? He kicks at Leo's leg, the wolf grunting in pain. Doing? He smiles, pleased with himself and his little ambush. You know this is my turf, right? You hurting my boys wasn't a kind thing. Where's Carl? Leo shouts, covered in dirt as he scoots back along the ground. Brian continues to approach him with that smile, several of his teeth missing or half rotted to corn kernels like husks. He seems to ignore Leo's question, grabbing at the wolf's pant leg, while Leo kicks fruitlessly at him. I gotta do something. Brian hasn't seen me yet. For some reason, the first thing that flashes through my mind is, what would Jenna do? Next thing I know, I'm walking towards both of them. I see Jeremy in the distance, his eyes going wide. He mouths one word. Don't. Hey! Stop it! Right now! The bear stops what he's doing, looking at me with an indiscernible expression. Oh god, he's huge. Your behavior is getting really inappropriate. Well, fuck me! It's you! Duke was right. You've been skulking around these past weeks, haven't you? Leo growls, taking advantage of the distracted Brian by kicking him square in the nards as hard as he can. At least, that's where it looks like he's aiming for. Instead, he hits the thigh, and the bear stumbles back with a pained squeal. It's enough to give Leo some time to get back on his feet. I grab my keys from my pocket. My car's still parked a hell of a long ways away. I have no idea where Leo parked his van, or if he even drove it in the first place. Come on, Leo, let's go! No. He balls his paws into fists. He knows where Carl is. This is our only goddamn chance, Chase. Get out of here. Get safe. I blanch as he begins rushing the bear, dropping his shoulder for a football tackle. There's no way in hell Leo can take on this guy. Leo, goddammit! The impact is hard, two heavy bodies colliding with an audible smack. The two topple down upon a wooden pallet covered in loose metal pipes. Brian squeals again, thrashing like a spider that's been spritzed with bug spray. The bear scratches at Leo, but Leo hits him hard in the face. Again and again, pummeling the previously grinning mug into a twisted visage of agony. Brian's squeals turn to outright screams, like he's gone completely feral. Jesus, Leo! I said go! Brian jerks forward, sinking his yellow teeth into Leo's shoulder. The wolf's eyes go wide from the shock of pain. It's stunning him still, as he is held within the bear's jaw. He tries grabbing at the gnarly muzzle, but the bear only clamps down harder. I can see his nostrils dilating as his acrid breath puffs out in quick, enraged bursts. No! I've never won a fight in my goddamn life, but again, I have to do something. I run up and take aim to kick Brian square in the head, anything to get him off of Leo. It's a glancing blow, but it's enough. I see his jaw unclench. Just as my foot catches and trips over both of them, splaying chest first into the dirt. Oof. Leo's gonna owe me so many beers after this. I cough up sputters of dust and dry grass, rolling over onto my back. I see a flash of fur, and there's another couple thuds. Then those eyes again. The empty ones. Brian's leering over me now, his face puckered like he just sucked on something sour. Leo's rolled over on his side, retching as he clutches his gut. He must have gotten socked in the stomach, and hard. The bear says nothing as he places his two paws around my neck. His expression doesn't so much as change as it cracks into an increasingly wide smile. Then a knee on my chest. I can't move. I can't breathe. My heart begins to race, feeling my own pulse begin to throb. I can feel his thumbs dig deep down where my jugular is. I gasp for breath, blood vessels beginning to pop. My eyes feel like they're about to squeeze out of my head. He knows what he's doing. So do you. Urgh, get away from him! Thud. Leo slams his whole body weight down into the bear again. It takes all the force to budge him, but once he's down, he's stunned for a while. I gasp for breath, clutching at my neck and scurrying back behind Leo. Brian's on his paws and knees now, panting with a sick, wheezing breath. Leo scrambles up to his feet and kicks the bear in the ribs. He's barely budging, but Leo keeps at it, strike after strike. He's swearing under his breath, a string of words in his native tongue flowing forth from between gritted teeth. I'm still having trouble catching my breath, my whole head throbbing and light popping in front of my eyes. Brian yanks on the cuff of Leo's jeans and pulls the wolf down with him. He crawls on top, taking Leo's head in one meaty paw and banging it against the ground. I can see him squeezing down, the wolf desperately flailing to get him off. He reaches for one of the pipes on the nearby pallet, but Brian catches him before he can get a hold on it. The bear pins both of his wrists above him, grinning with a sort of hazy rage. I run up trying to push him off, but it's like trying to move a boulder. A single elbow strikes me and I go flying back. It feels like I just got hit by a goddamn car. I hear Leo scream in pain, followed by a short, gurgling noise. I've never heard Leo make sounds like this in my life. It's horrible. Get off! Ugh. Another cry. I gotta do something. Maybe I will. I just push myself up to my elbows, my head starts to spin, the throbbing in my skull intensifying. I can finally see what's happening. Brian still got Leo pinned to the ground. He had his knee up to his chest and is pressing down with all his weight. The wolf heaves, trying to free his hands to no avail. A more primal look crosses his eyes, his toes curling down into the dirt, his paws balling into fists. Brian leans down for just a moment to grin at him when Leo snaps. His white fangs sink down into the brown muzzle of the bear. He's biting hard, and I can practically see the cartilage tearing. It catches him off guard enough to let Leo get his paws free again, which he promptly uses to pummel the bear's noggin. Each punch is short, knuckle-heavy blown, not letting Brian get the opportunity to recover. The upper hand lasts only for a couple seconds, however, as the bear swings his fist blindly and connects right into Leo's temple. Another strike catches the edge of his shirt, and Brian tears it away like it's paper. His eyes shut, and he crumbles back into a manner that I'm not sure means he's unconscious. But he keeps moving, pushing himself up from under Brian and trying to crawl away. "Come back here, boy!" The shout is loud, and Leo begins to crawl faster. Just as he pushes himself to his feet, Brian tackles him back onto all fours again, hitting him in the back of the head. Once he's stopped moving, Brian pushes his face into the dirt. He rests his chest against Leo's back, breathing heavily down on his neck. "Fuck off!" Leo's eyes begin to dart around rapidly as he realizes what's happening. The emasculating position is very much intentional. Two paws come down and grasp around the back of Leo's neck, huge fingers pressing down on his airways. "Stop!" I call out, my voice hoarse. I push myself back up for what feels like the 100th time. If I can get to the pipes on the pallet, maybe I can stop this. I take one step and nearly collapse. What the hell happened to me? I close my eyes for a moment, trying to catch my breath. That's when I hear the sound of pattering little feet scampering across the topsoil. "Take this, bitch!" Bam! The heavy metal of a wrench strikes Brian in the muzzle right as he turns around. A spray of blood splatters both Brian and the bat, the bear hobbling back before roaring in agony, two teeth falling from the front of his maw. His whole body quakes with rage. "Micah! What are you doing?" Micah's chest rises and falls in rapid succession. It's apparent his fight or flight response is kicking in. "Oh fuck, oh fuck!" As Brian turns to face him, eyes wide, it looks like the latter has taken hold. The bat fucking bolts, sprinting as fast as he can towards the exit of the trailer park and into the desert shrub beyond. Astonishingly, Brian is right behind him. He's way too fast for someone his size, and he screams like a banshee as he runs. There's a moment where Micah stumbles, and I'm sure the bat is going to catch him, but he just dodges out of the way and keeps going. They run and run until I can't see them anymore, and an eerie silence falls upon the trailer park. I head over to Leo, taking him by the shoulder. The fur around his jowls is matted with dry blood, and his tail hangs between his feet, completely still. "Leo, are you okay?" "Fuck." It's all he can say as he clutches his head. I agree with that sentiment. So close. Not really, man. I'm about to say something else when I feel the wolf's large arms embrace me. "Sorry." The sensitive movement catches me off guard after the brutality which was just on display. Instead of embracing him in return, I'm left feeling uneasy. "Sorry? What are you sorry for?" He doesn't immediately respond, seeming to ignore the question. "Are you okay?" "Oh, just dizzy. My neck's swollen, and it still kinda hurts to talk and swallow." He pulls back a little and looks to the horizon. "Everything's red for me now." "Huh?" Leo doesn't respond, and I pull back to look at his face. He seems kinda distant, probably concussed. I glance back to where Jeremy and Clint were and notice they're gone, no trace of them to be seen. I think for a moment that I see the familiar white fur of Micah's head and shoulders in the distance, but he's well out of sight by now. God damn it. Micah saved you, you know that? "You saved me?" I blink, furrowing my brow some. "No, that was Micah, the short bad guy. I hope he's gonna be okay. He's fast and wily." He should be fine, especially once Brian's adrenaline wears off. Thanks, Chula. I love you. I'm struck by the gentleness of his statement, his tone genuine, if dazed. The frayed mess of nerves that I am right now, hearing that soothes me just a little. Sure, Leo. I love you too. Let's get back to the motel. I look down at the tattered remains of Leo's shirt as we stand up together. Christ, this wasn't productive at all, was it? We limp our way back to my sedan, and after helping Leo into the back seat, we make our way back to the motel. God, you're heavier than I remember. Only where it counts. A wiry smile is visible on his muzzle, the battered wolf clearly still loopy from all the blows to the head. Or, at least, that's what I hope the explanation is. He keeps squeezing my side as I struggle to keep him upright. With my free hand, I dig around my pocket and search for the Echo Motel key card. The task is made all the more difficult by the pawing ministrations of Leo, who I keep having to bat away. For fuck's sake, Leo, I'm genuinely pissed at you. We almost died, and you blew our chances to find Carl easily. I don't even know how I'm gonna begin to explain this all to the cops. Leo makes a dismissive noise. I'll handle it. You don't gotta worry. I prop Leo up against the wall, giving him an incredulous look. Does he not even process what just happened if Micah and I hadn't stepped in to help him? Leo, you just pissed off some kind of trailer park drug kingpin who now knows exactly who you are. That should concern the hell out of you. Nah. There's a distant look in his eyes. Before I have time to further chastise what an idiot he's being, I hear a voice call out from behind me. Hey! Jenna's holding a small plastic bag with the words "Thank you" printed on it over and over again in bold red lettering. Chase, where were you? What's going on? Leo's expression goes a little more flat, his tail unmoving behind him. Jenna? The wolf greets her curtly, eliciting a perplexed face from the fox. I leave for 20 minutes, and of course Leo is now beaten and shirtless. She gives me a stern look. What happened? I let out a sigh, pinching the tip of my nose before letting my paw flop down to my side. Leo tried to interrogate the Tetanus Alley crew by himself. And I was doing fine until that squeaky voiced fat ass showed up. Brian, I clarify. Oh shit! She reaches into her pocket, taking her own card key and sliding it into the door. Come on, let's get you inside. There's some basic medical supplies in the bathroom. I'll see what I can scrounge up. I think he's got a concussion. Yeah, I don't need to tell you that you shouldn't let him fall asleep. I'm right here, you know. You can talk to me. I would if I think that would do any good, but you obviously don't listen to anything we say, as evident by this latest stunt. God, Leo, why are you so stupid? You're an adult. Jenna pushes the door open and I help Leo inside. I'm trying to not look directly at him, but judging by the tenseness of his muscles, I can tell he is definitely not digging Jenna's scolding. I walk Leo over to one of the beds and I help him sit down, careful so he doesn't smush his own tail. Easy now, big guy. The wolf palpably softens at those words, and I think I catch a slight, sad smile pass towards my direction. Despite all the idiocy, we did just survive near death together. He pats my lower back some, just as Jenna shuts the door behind us. I should probably text TJ. He's doing those sport medicine courses, so he should be able to help us out a bit. He left to continue his search with Flynn after you didn't show up. Though, honestly, I think we should drive him to the urgent care down in Peyton. I look up to Leo, anticipating his response before he even speaks. I'm fine. Leo, I said I'm fine, yeah? You shouldn't be babying me over while Carl is still out there. You're right, we shouldn't be having to do this at all. Jenna walks past us with a glowing look of maternal disappointment before heading into the bathroom. She does drop the bag of food next to us on the bed, though. Ordinarily, I'd be concerned about getting grease on the covers, but considering the circumstances, I pull out a styrofoam container from the bag and pop it open. Inside are 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, with toast, eggs, and bacon pushed off to the side. It looks kind of haphazardly put together, but my scrumbling stomach doesn't mind. I hand Leo a grilled cheese and take some bacon for myself. Feeling dizzy? Any sudden sharp head pains? Just some throbbing. But that's, par the course when I'm around you. He grins for a flicker of a second before taking a huge bite of the sandwich. I can't help but stare at him wide-eyed, my face burning. It's not that I'm super offended by the flirting or anything, but now, of all times to do it... Leo swallows down a mouthful of bread and cheese. Judging by his expression, he doesn't seem to be a big fan of the taste. Sorry, just getting sleepy. I reach up, clutching his shoulder. Hey, come on, don't pass out on us. You know you can't do that now. Jenna returns with some hydrogen peroxide, gauze, and what looks like a bottle of acetaminophen. I sent out a message to the group chat letting them know what's going on. The signal was being kind of weird for a second, but it said sent. Jenna sits down beside the wolf with her can of disinfectant, to which Leo visibly recoils. I can do it, just give it to me. The Fennec's brows furrow, and she actually pulls back the can. No, that is not how you're going to treat me right now. Like you treat me like shit, yeah? What? I know you've been talking ill of me behind my back, trying to keep Chase away. Jenna stares dumbfounded at Leo. I am absolutely baffled by your priorities right now. I'm going to assume this is the head trauma speaking. So what if it is? You know it's true. Leo shifts his gaze to me. She has, hasn't she? I sigh. I really wasn't prepared to deal with this confrontation right now. I probably should have spent more time with you to make sure you didn't do anything like you just did. No, Chase, this is not your fault. The sooner Leo realizes that he's the one making mistakes, the sooner we can rally and figure out what we're going to do next. For Carl, remember him? The person we're actually trying to find? I wince, having agreed with the last part of what Jenna said, but it's definitely gone a step too far. Jenna, we are all concerned about Carl. I take the anesthetic spray and begin shaking the can before spritzing it on a few of Leo's wounds. The wolf barely even reacts. His pain tolerance was always pretty heavy growing up. He'd win pretty much every game of slap hands or punch you punch me that Flynn or Carl devised. I used to find that sort of toughness attractive. Guys, let's focus. Jenna holds up the flat of her palm towards me, speaking with a curt tone. Chase, you don't really believe Leo is doing this out of the genuine goodness of his heart, right? That he has some deep compassion for Carl. Hell, I've spoken with Carl online these past few years. Leo basically stopped talking to him the moment you left for college. That is 3 whole years of not giving a damn. Leo's jowls pull back along the corners of his maw for a moment, before he reaches up and clutches his temple. That's real hypocritical of you to say. Don't. Jenna looks up at the ceiling, her usual cool and collected demeanor gone. It's clear Leo's actions have pushed her past the point of calm understanding. Don't. Don't what? Don't stop you from laying into me while you're guilty of the same? Yeah, you left everyone behind, didn't you? Jenna looks stunned for a moment before her brows furrow once again. Oh yes, Leo, a completely justified decision. Unrelenting neglect, abuse, and traumatic influence is no reason to distance oneself from a sacred nuclear family unit. It's not often that Jenna outright expresses what went on in her tiny house growing up. We all figured she wasn't keen on representing herself as someone to be pitied, so we generally didn't pry. Her bringing this up now definitely means this is a touchier subject, and Leo knows this. After your outburst and your latest behavior, is it any wonder that we don't reach out to you much anymore? Leo's unfocused gaze shifts from Jenna to me and back again. Chase talks to me. I squeeze Leo's shoulder. Guys, Carl, let's focus on Carl. What are we gonna do about him? I flash Jenna a pleading look. Yeah, he messaged me from time to time. I squeeze harder. He says he misses me and that he can't wait to see me again. That he misses us being together. What? Jenna peers at Leo, incredulous, her arms folded across her chest. When no one says anything in response, she unfolds her arms, her expression softening some. Wait, seriously? Her attention shifts to me. You've been texting Leo that you want to get back together this whole time? No, not really. I mean, I barely text him. It's always late at night. Leo speaks with a droll monotone. My phone flashes, and it's you. You bring up all the old times we messed around, and how you want to do that again. You get kind of intense too. Like last time when you talked about, how you wanted me in you again. Leo, for fuck's sake. My face absolutely burns. I just want to throw my paw over his muzzle and shut him up. How could he be bringing this up at a time like this? Or bringing it up at all? Jenna's brow is raised high now. Before she can say anything, Leo speaks again, gesturing forward with jittery motions. I'm not fucking lying, yeah? I can show you the text. I saved them. You got rid of them in the next morning. Every time. A dull throb pounds within my head, the intrusive thoughts as pointed as Jenna's gaze, which is very much aimed at me now. They made you feel guilty. Out of everything, that's what you feel guilty about? Okay. Wow. Neither of you told me any of this. I practically want to scream now. Carl, let's focus on Carl. Anything to get the spotlight off of me. Well, it really wasn't pertinent. It was just a couple times over the span of the 3 years. Chase? It is. At least, somewhat. She hesitates a second, trying to find some gentle phrasing as she shifts her weight from one foot to the other. Not the nitty-gritty details, of course, unless we were all practically inebriated. She looks between the two of us. At the very least, it partially explains Leo's behavior. Though, I'm not saying it justifies it. Huh, there you go again. I'm right here and you're still talking right over me. He hunches forward some. You're injured, Leo. Plus, your words and actions have been exceptionally irrational lately, so forgive me if you aren't given a spot at the grown-up table. Leo ignores her, beginning to mumble. At first, I was confused. Why are you acting like this? Trying to take away my chance to make things right. You've always been cruel, but never this bad, yeah? Cruel? Jenna lets out an amused but exhausted noise, pinching the bridge of her muzzle. Are you implying that I'm stealing Chase from you? As if he was an object to be conquered and taken? That is a regressive... Leo starts talking in that same deadpan voice before Jenna finishes. You know what you're doing. Attitude towards someone you claim you understand so deeply. Jenna continues speaking even through the wolf's words. But hey, that's just who you are. Leo, please relax. Stop talking. I begin wrapping gauze around some of the disinfected wounds. It's hard to tell and difficult to focus on what's going on, but some of these might require some stitches. His large head turns to look at me. His pupils are hidden behind his half-open eyelids. Just close my eyes and fall asleep. Wait, no, don't do that! And then you're right there, with me again. Jenna's nostrils flare, exasperated. I'm about to smack him awake. I frown. Don't do that either. You came down to Echo to surprise me the other week. Thought that was really nice of you. Showed you cared. I have no clue what he's talking about. For the past few weeks, I've been cramming for midterms and streaming old movies with Vincent in my dorm room. For a moment, I think Jenna gives me a slightly accusatory look, but doesn't say anything. Instead, she grabs a few strips of bacon before walking to the other side of the room and checking her phone. Okay, the signal is completely messed up. My bars are bouncing up and down like they're on a trampoline. She holds her phone higher, squinting at it. Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep Leo upright as I wrap a practically nasty-looking gash on his arm. He must have cut himself when he fell down. Maybe a tetanus shot is in order when we get to the doctor too. You were kinda thin, which is cute, but you should eat more. I was gonna have Pops cook you some burgers with the jalapeno ketchup you like. He's not really making much sense at the moment, but at least the focus isn't on me anymore. I have a feeling that I'm going to have a bit of scolding from Jenna later, though. I always thought Leo's dad's burgers were kind of iffy, and I never wanted to be rude. The goatee, though, you shaving it was kind of funny. You were so proud of that thing. But it was like you were doing everything you could to be cute for me. Jenna's frowning deeply at her phone now. Whether it's because of what Leo said or something on her screen is unclear. Without looking, Leo brings up a giant paw and squeezes the end of my chin. I quickly push it away, and he seems surprised for a moment when he feels the unturned scruff. Huh? Is that really you, Chase? I catch Jenna peering pointedly at the wolf before glancing back at her phone. I'm thinking maybe we should start driving to the clinic now. I'm not even sure if the others got my text, and this stupid phone can barely buffer the message app. I tried both it and the standard SMM. I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. The spot where the bars indicate service and Wi-Fi aren't there anymore. At least at first. I think I see them flicker back on for a second before disappearing again. I've never seen it do this before. Yeah, my Wi-Fi is messed up too. I press my thumb over the power button. I guess I'll try turning it off and on again. Jenna frowns. Then I suppose there's no point in checking my laptop. She lets out a long exhale before shoving her phone back into her pocket and looking at me. Before I give up entirely, let me try your phone real quick. You've always had better signal. That is, unless you've got something on there you wouldn't rather show me. Her tone is idle and nonchalant, but her words are definitely meant as a jab. Hey, come on. I let go of Leo, giving the fennec my best annoyed look. I can explain all this later, it's just been a bad timing with. And then Leo goes still. I turn to look into his eyes and notice that they're still open. And there's something behind him. Hey. What? I step back. Leo mumbles something inaudible. The figure behind him stands still, his body blurred and dark, like the light of a room won't touch him. It's like staring into a funhouse mirror, except the thing in front of me isn't following my movements as I back further and further away. There's a gasp from the corner of the room. Chase? Jenna's voice comes after a few seconds of silence. What? What is that? She speaks in a half-yell, half-whisper. I don't know. I respond without thinking. The figure still stares at me. As I back away, I notice that its socketed eyes follow me without even moving its head. My foot catches the edge of the suitcase, and I have to quickly grab the dresser so I don't tumble over. I suck in sharp breaths between my teeth, my heart pounding. No reaction. 10 seconds have passed now, and this thing is still here. Leo stirs, but only somewhat. His eyes roll back into his head, and he turns slightly towards the direction of the doppelganger. Only then does it begin to move as well. It rests a shadowy, furred paw on Leo's own. I wince as the words leave my mouth, spoken without thought. Chase! Don't! Why? Its voice is garbled and sounds nothing like me. Like a clipped sound bite from an old cassette tape. Just don't hurt him. Leo lays there, conked out and helpless. It's such a contrast from the fuming predator striking at Brian I saw 30 minutes ago. You've hurt him plenty. No. I try to swallow, finding my throat dry. Leo's lips move again, and this time I hear him clearly. I love you. Love you too. He speaks in my voice this time, crystal clear with no distortion. The affection is slightly perturbed, and I realize it's how I sounded when I responded to Leo earlier. Its shadowy visage fades into the surroundings, until it's completely gone. I can feel the goosebumps beneath my fur subside, and breathing is somewhat easier all of a sudden, the air less thick. Leo sits up, still in a sleepy daze. He clutches at his paw, and feeling nothing there, a confused and sad expression crosses his white face. I finally look over to Jenna, who's backed against the bathroom door. She rubs her eyes, seemingly looking on in disbelief. Neither of us say anything, trying to process what the hell that was. It felt like a dream, but one I could actually feel. The room itself has a sort of ozone-y smell to it, but that's completely gone now. Surprisingly, Leo is the first to speak. Thank you, Chase, he says, still looking at his paw. But what? It's all I can say. One of Leo's ears flick and he turns his attention back to me. For being here for me. Jenna walks up, touching the space where the doppelganger was a moment ago. What the fuck? She reaches down, grasping her wrist and checking her pulse, pinching herself a few times while she's at it. Was I drugged? You saw that too, right, Chase? I nod, trying to speak, only a croaking sound comes from my throat at first. I cough, then try again. I saw it. I think that was the thing from my dream? Oh no. No. Jenna turns, walking back towards the bathroom door. God, Chase, don't say that. The thought clearly appears to unnerve her. I'm sorry, but that was real. There has to be an explanation for whatever that was. I'm about ready to start looking for hidden cameras here. I glance down at my suitcase and spot the familiar orange hardbox container that kept my camera equipment in. If only I had gotten whatever that was on film. I exhale, noticing that my legs are still shaking. It's all so familiar. We should probably get out of here. Agreed. I'm going to grab my stuff and pack my trunk. You think we should leave? Yes. I need to get back to Pueblo and take a few mental health days. We'll finish packing, pick up TJ, and drop Leo off at the clinic. His dad can take him home later. Leo picks at his freshly wrapped bandages. Why did it touch him? I need to find Carl. Jenna says nothing to Leo's insistence, the fennec shoving her dirty clothes into a garbage bag. Leo, I don't really know what more we can do. I'll handle it, and then you can come back. His red eyes meet mine for the first time in a while, and I'm struck by the level of compassion in them. For a second, it reminds me of the best moments of our relationship. With my heart still thudding in my ear and my legs weak, I manage to force a smile towards the dazed wolf. Right. Of course. Doctor first, though. I'm about ready to check myself in, too. He cants his head, peering at me curiously. I'll find Carl. Don't worry. There's a knocking on the window, awkward taps followed by a crooning falsetto voice. Carl? I found Carl! It makes Jenna and me jump, both of us freezing in place. Who's there? Leo asks sleepily. It's me, Micah. The more knocking, this time a little harder. Micah? Leo blinks, suddenly seeming more awake. He clutches at the end of the bed, pushing himself up to his feet. The wolf is a little wobbly, his tail swaying behind him as he tries to keep his balance. Yeah, it's me. Open the door. There's something off about his voice. I don't think it's him. Leo sits up towards the window and draws the curtain before I can tell him to stop. The familiar outline of the bat's massive ears pokes over from the bottom of the sill. He's crouched down like he's afraid to be seen. Jenna steps up beside me, watching on from a distance. Micah lifts his head a little, and I notice he has this strange expression on his face, like he's not fully awake. There's also something attached to the scruff of his neck. The bat's face is snout squarely against the window, blood squirting from his nose and coating both the pane and his face. Fuck! Oh god, Leo, get back! Micah slumps aside, falling out of sight as the figure who is making the voice reveals himself. Brian. The bear rams the door, bits of splintered wood from the frame showering the carpet. Leo, get back! Leo turns to face him just as something metal strikes across his face. I don't hear the impact, but Leo crumbles just the same. He points the thing at me now, and I realize quickly it's a gun. He smiles at me for a second, approaching me next. I try to back up, but there's nowhere to run. He grabs me by the shirt, and I feel my body swing around. Don't you fucking... The coyote latches onto my shoulder, yanking me back. Something hard smacks into my skull, and I feel my mind rattle. I lurch away, essentially butt-bumping the coyote as my ears ring from the prior blow. TJ's still on the ground, crying and covered in booze as the bullies stand around him. My movement is so sluggish, and it's like I've become a zombie, shambling towards the door as my vision blurs. Is this what it feels to be knocked out? I clench my fists and keep up my pace, trying to blink the blurriness away. Eventually, I reach the entrance. Carl? Leo? As I reach the outside, my knees lock and I drop to the concrete. The impact rattles my bones as I catch myself with my wrists, just barely managing to avoid falling directly on my muzzle. I take a deep breath. I'm still conscious. At least half conscious. I continue crawling, trying to ignore the throbbing pain. Carl! Shouting now, my voice sounds foreign to me, shrill, childlike, pathetic, and increasingly hoarse. Leo! My voice shouldn't be this croaky. I barely talk today. I'm in the middle of the road now. Where's Carl? I should get out before a car comes. I pull myself along the asphalt, feeling my skin scrape beneath my fur. I want to stand, but I'll probably just fall again. So I keep crawling, rolling into what seems like some sort of detention basin. I stare up at the sky, fighting the sudden urge to grit my teeth through the pain. At first, I think it's blood that's got into my eyes, but upon rubbing them, I realize that it isn't the case. The sky is different, like someone slapped one of those colored gel matte filters over it. What the hell? I rub my eyes again, attempting to focus. I can't stay here. TJ is in deep shit. Those idiots, those assholes. Sucking in the sharp breath through my teeth, I rise to stand, praying that my knees don't lock up again. Find Carl. Find Leo. I stumble out of the detention basin, feeling packed soil beneath my feet. A dirt road. Looking behind me, I realize I must have crawled further than I thought. Parsons looks over a mile away. That can't be right. I see a van ahead. It looks rusted and old, but there's a light on it inside. I step stiff-legged down the road a ways, reaching the bend where the vehicle sits. The same redness that the sky is tinted with pulsates from the interior. I try to speak, but no words come from my throat. It's like a dream. I want to do the rational thing and announce myself, but I can't. I move closer, peering into the dusty back window. Inside the window is another window, and in that window is a little red dot in the corner, flashing on and off. In the window within a window, there's a writhing, flashes of fur contorting and undulating in constant, restless motion. Something is trying to hold it in place. I hear a clap and a cry. The clapping continues, louder now, rhythmic yet a singular applause. This is what you want, says the voice that cried. I stare, slowly finding the will to speak. No, I need to find my friends. Do you know where they are? The voice shifts some, more urgent. We heard gunfire coming from the town. It's real bad. Gunfire? I didn't hear anything. Please help me find my friends. We can't find them now. Oh, we need to go. They're lost. No, they're not. I'll keep looking myself. You're just going in circles. I feel tears well within my eyes, a lump in my throat containing a choked sob. Please. The van's back door opens. I'm standing too close and it pushes me onto my back. The red light is gone now, replaced by darkness and shifting shadows within. I see them now, tarantulas, their 8 legs fuzz with white and rust-colored stripes. They're on me with haste, 2 of them, one on each of my arms. They bite so hard so quickly I can't yell. They pull and tug at me, another pair at my legs. I'm pulled into the van, my body stretched upon a squishy something that begins to sink against my arms and legs. There's no more light, and I stand paralyzed at what I think is the ceiling of the van in the pitch blackness. It feels like restraints are binding me in place. I try to adjust my eyes to the darkness, but everything seems blurry and unclear. My head throbs like a heartbeat, the pangs of pain unrelenting. The fur bristles. Where did the spiders go? Breathing has become more difficult, as if the oxygen in the van was running out. I feel my veins in my neck bulge as I try to gasp for breaths, but my body is not my own. Lights seem to pop as the ringing in my ears intensifies. Something is above me. I can sense it. There's a garbled muttering coming forth from it, as if spoken through a poorly tuned AM radio. It sounds like me. You knocked him out? I swear I barely touched him, man. Fucking pants on. Dude? Just go. Leo. Go. Before he wakes up. I'll see you. Party? It goes quiet. Then after a few more seconds. Chase. 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 The voice changes. This time the voice is throbbing within my head. Have you ever killed anyone? And that's where I'm going to leave it for today. If you guys saw the Route 65 video, then this scene is all too familiar. But with a teeny bit more added extra context. We know that Leo was one of the ones in the van, and that he was with someone who many of you might have already guessed at. And yeah, well, let's talk about what actually happened in the episode that's new. I guess Brian is a bit more of a threat in this video. He's a bit more aggressive. Like he's actually doing stuff to people, not just torturing Chase. Which, you know, since you just saw from that preview of the next episode, they're in his trailer again. So let's see if it's going to be a repeat of what happened before or if it's going to get worse. But, yeah. They're in quite a pickle now. And poor Leo, I mean, Jesus. And that ghost thing behind him, or shadow chase, as it's referred to. Well, anyways, we're going to have to see the next episode, what happens. And I think for what's left of Jenna's route, or what's out, I should say, of her route, there should maybe be like 2 more episodes left of this until I have to stop because, you know, I have to wait for an update. So expect 2 more. So maybe next Monday and Wednesday you'll see episodes. And if by any chance or miracle there's an update, then there will be one for Friday of next week. If not, then we're gonna have to wait until, I guess, next month before I can post anything. But anyways, when this finishes, I will be doing the smoke room, which will be heavily censored, at least in certain parts. And then after that, maybe Password, which it's a really good story, but it isn't finished either. But there's a lot of stuff there, so that could drag on for a while. Well, not drag on, because that makes it seem bad. But anyways, thank you for watching / listening. And if you would like to play any of the Echo Project games, then there's a link down in the description. If you would like to support the Echo Project, then go find their Patreon, which should be in the itch pages. You will get access to short stories of the gang, and you will also get access to the early builds of Echo, the Smoke Room, Kamiya, and Arches in 2 months, and Glory Hounds, but I forget when that one's gonna start. I think they're like barely like setting it up. But anyways, I will see you all, I guess, next Monday. So, bye-bye.